Hello and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Randy4short or Randy4short, and in today's video we are going to be closing out paycheck number 3 and setting up paycheck number 1 of my August budget. Okay, all right, so let's just get into it. We did roll over money from paycheck 2 to paycheck 3 to help out with the mortgage. We budget off of $3,200. Our total budget was $3,465, so subtract 3,200, and that leaves us with $265 as our pay yourself first line. Okay, so let's add all of these up to see what our total income was for paycheck number 3. So our income was $4,151.46, and if we keep on bringing it over, our pay yourself first was $265 and 0 for the our actual income, and then our rollover was used up as well. So what's left for the income line is $265. All right, so for expenses, we were on, actually, let me just go ahead and say, for paycheck number 3, it was out of control. One, because I wasn't really in my budget planner, so we were definitely over budget. And I don't think we did, thankfully we had a lot of money in our cash envelopes, like a lot of a buffer. So it didn't really affect this paycheck, but boy, we had some big expenses and there was a lot of spending going on. So let me just say that. But our budget wasn't affected too much. So we were on budget with gas, on budget with groceries, and then our mortgage, we paid that. Vivint, we paid that. Citizen One, on budget. My life insurance was on budget. Verizon, I don't know why I budgeted this because I had it in paycheck number 1. I had it in paycheck number 1. Yeah, right here. So I don't know why I put it in paycheck number 3 as well. I think I was working off of the old due date that I thought was going to be at the beginning of the month, but it actually turned out to be the same as what I had before, or like very close to it. So it's not due until the 24th of August, and I already paid July's. So I'm not paying this one. So that means we were under budget the full amount for $176.17. Disney Plus was on budget. School loans was on budget. My school loans are on forbearance, but I am still making a monthly payment. Costco credit card is just a visual reminder, so is the Amazon credit card. Childcare, I did transfer $640 for that. Tax prep, I did transfer $300 for that. And iCloud was on budget for $9.99. Frontier was on budget. This is actually higher than our normal bill. It's usually around like $54 and some change, but I was late paying it last month, so they tacked on like a $5-6 late fee, and I had like a $9 balance from our old account before we canceled with them. I don't know what for because I paid it in full and I canceled, but I'm tired of calling these companies, so I'm gonna just let the $9 go. So this one I am going to skip right now because we have to do our unbudgeted to find what the actual is for that. And then Hulu was on budget. So let's add this up. So Frontier, they actually overcharged me because they charged me for last month, but because I was late, the bill pay didn't reflect my late payment. So it charged me for the past due balance plus the current balance plus the $9 that I owed plus the $5 late fee. So it ended up actually charging me a total of $122.73, which put me over budget $54.76, which is actually our regular monthly payment. So I'm expecting this to be a credit for August. So pretty much I won't have to pay August because I pretty much paid it already in this payment. So I paid like the bill twice, if that makes sense. So I went, oh my gosh. So I went to the dentist, my husband went to the dentist, my baby went to the dentist, like, and basically I got a dentist bill for $657. I was expecting a high bill because I literally could see my cavity because basically one of my fillings broke, and I knew I had to at least get one cavity filled, and I knew I needed a cleaning. So I knew the bill was going to be high. I didn't know what my husband's was going to be. So, but what we had in our account was $451.98. So even though I didn't budget for it in this budget, we had this much in our medical's sinking fund account. So we took all of that money to put towards my bill, but it wasn't enough, of course. So out of this paycheck, we had to pay $205.02 extra. So that's why it's in this budget. And like usually I don't show like the ins and out of my cash envelopes because I mean that's just daily spending, and I don't like to track expenses when I use digital envelopes, and I could just log into that account and see the account balance history and the transaction history. So I don't really see the point of keeping that on paper. And plus, if I had to do that, I probably wouldn't budget anyway. But anyways, I also went to the eye doctor. Fun fact, I am blind as a bat. So I got myself some new glasses, and I went in for contacts, but they said my vision hadn't really changed. So there was no point. Like it got a little bit worse, but there was no point in upping my prescription for my contacts because it would overcorrect my vision. And I was like, well, I got some contacts left over from that prescription. So it's fine. Whenever I need them, they're like $60 a box. So I'll just go in and I'll cash flow that. But as for the glasses, I just use the eye insurance to get another pair of glasses and the balance left over because again, I'm blind as a bat, and it's a whole thing with my glasses. So anyways, like all of this is not for the frame because I know somebody probably will comment like, oh, you can go online and get a frames for cheap. Like, no, my lenses is the most expensive because my prescription is so high that the lens would be so thick that I have to pay for them to be as thin as possible, and they're still thick. So I legit wear Coke bottles, but I digress. So that was $192 over. So let's see what we were over budget for this paycheck. And also, I do want to note that we were over budget for gas and groceries. So, like I said in the beginning, or if you're new to my channel, if it's not coming out of this paycheck, then I'm not listing it as unbudgeted, if that makes sense. Like for example, we ended up paying like $240 in groceries for this paycheck, but the $40 came from a buffer in our digital cash envelopes. So that extra money didn't come out of this paycheck, which is why it's not a line item for unbudgeted. So that happened quite a bit in paycheck number 3. But like I said, we used our buffer in order to pay a lot of these overages. So yeah, so let's go ahead and add this up. So we were $451.78 over budget. So I'm going to take this number and plug it over here. So this amount is basically the amount that came out of here, but you can see that we were over budget with our extra money. So in that case, we probably needed to use some money out of our sinking fund. Because if you're new to my channel, any money left over from paychecks, I put into like a sinking fund account to be allocated at the end of the month. So let's go ahead and plug in this number so I can like give a little bit more clarity. So 451.78 minus 176.35. Okay, leaves us with 275.43. So that means we were $275.43 over budget for this paycheck, that we had to basically dip into the money that we've been saving all month in our sinking funds in order to pay this extra amount. So we'll add up all of the overages and things like that to see exactly how much we were over budget for this paycheck. Oh, before I do that, let me add up the actual expenses. So we were 3,985.73. Okay. And then let me go ahead and add up these. So for expenses, we were just under $100 over what we budgeted in the grand scheme of things. So let me go ahead and add these two up. All right, so we'll do 165.74. So even though we were over budget in our expenses, because we paid ourselves $265 first, we still came out on top, if that makes sense. So if you're new to my channel, the pay yourself first is basically exactly what it sounds like. When we get paid, anything over $3,200 right off the bat, when that money comes in, we transfer that money to our sinking fund account. So that way, if we're out of our expenses, the money we were supposed to have left over was $176.35. But life happened. We needed to spend that money, and we ended up, like, expense wise, we ended up paying $99.26 more than what we were expecting. But because we had money set aside right when we got paid, we were able to just absorb this. We could have pulled this extra money out of sinking funds. You know, it's kind of like a timing thing because this is a 2-income household. So like maybe my check was short or my husband's check was short and we needed to pull money out of our sinking funds to cover that expense. But when the next person got paid, we put, you know, some money right off the top. We put some money aside and we kind of like evened out or came back on top, depending on, you know, what it was. But overall, we came out on top with money still in our pocket, even though we were over budget. So that's why I love the pay yourself first method. And this is like a perfect example of, you know, it's saving you when your expenses are more than what you're expected. It's like an automatic buffer or an automatic savings or whatever you want to call it. But we would have been in trouble had our expenses been more than this $265. Like if we paid this Verizon and all of our expenses went as expected and we had this $451, well, if you do 451 minus 265, then basically we'd have been like $180 over budget instead of being under budget $165. So I hope that made sense. If it didn't, just leave me a comment down below and I'd be happy to answer your comment about like what exactly is going on here. But for now, I'm going to move on to paycheck number 1 for the month of August. All right. And honestly, the reason why I put down my budget and didn't pay that close of attention to it is because honestly, I got bored. It was a 3 paycheck month for us in July. And yeah, just the washi and how I set it up. Like when I first did it, it was cute, but yeah, 6 weeks in the same setup was a little bit too long for me, especially when I've been ordering Simply Gilded washi and it just blows this Michael's washi out of the water, honestly. So yeah, I just wasn't motivated to pick it up. I was just like, oh, we got money. Oh, we got money. But yeah, but I knew we were going to be over budget when I got the bill for my dental work, so, and my glasses. So I was just like, well, we'll deal with it because it's necessary. So let's go ahead, and the estimated for pay yourself first, I'm gonna put a dash because I don't know what it is until we get paid, but we always budget on 3,200. We are not rolling over any money from previous paychecks to use in this paycheck budget. So yeah, so the income total estimated is going to be 3,200. So gas, as usual, we are going to budget $90 a week. So that's 180. Why do I always mess up? Okay, 180, and then groceries is $100 per week, so that's 200. Natural gas, we budget $30. Netflix is $12.99. Yard service is now $60. We each get $50 for fun money. So 50, 50, 50. Fun money is $20. Diapers, we do $80 a month, and this is for diapers and wipes. House supplies, is our cash envelope, and it gets 15. We are rolling some money over from this paycheck to paycheck number 2 to help with the mortgage payment, and that's going to be $500. Life insurance for my husband is $69.96. Toiletries slash beauty. I did recently combine these two digital cash envelopes because I haven't really been doing anything for beauty, and I don't want to have just one account for beauty when all I'm really going to do right now is get my eyebrows done. So yeah, so I lumped that in with toiletries, but eventually when I go and get like my hair, my nails, and my eyebrows done again, then I'll break those two out, and then like of course makeup every now and then and all that kind of good stuff. But for right now, I'm going to put those together. And toiletries is just like your personal hygiene type stuff. So anything that goes on your body, anything that has to do with self-care, that type of stuff. So right now that's getting $35. Sapphire is our credit card, and that's $200 a month. Childcare is $320 a week for $640 for 2 weeks. MetLife is $265.66, and I still didn't look into why it was lower last month, but I need to, but I haven't, because like I said, I'm sick of talking to these companies right now. After Verizon charged us like $370 for our first bill, I was just too through. I'm too through right now. So water and trash is $115. Verizon. You know what? I do actually know what this bill is going to be, but you know what? I'm lazy. I don't feel like adjusting all my numbers for this, because if I do it on here, then I'm going to have to adjust it on here, which is my, my breakdown of my budget for the month. And I just don't feel like doing it. Verizon is all the way. Where is Verizon? Verizon is right here. So I'd have to change this number, this number, this number, this number. And it's just like, I don't feel like it. That just means we're going to be under budget because it's like 120 something. So I just make a mental note that that's going to be like $50 extra from this paycheck. Edison is our electricity bill, and it's $30, which I love because we are in the thick of summer, and our electricity bill is $30. When we were in our condo, it was like, this time of year, it was probably like $200. So ID theft is $12.90 for all of us, and Kaiser is $124, and debt extra payment is $228.57. So if all goes well, we will have $228.58 to throw towards our current goal, which is to be debt free. So let me go ahead and add up all of these expenses. All right, so all of the expenses equal 3,200. which is our incoming income, which means that we have a zero base budget. Doesn't mean that we have no money in the bank. It just means that every dollar has a name and has a plan in this paycheck. So that is the goal. Okay, and so any unbudgeted expenses will go down here and I'll write them in as they come up throughout the week. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, please hit the thumbs up button. And if you want to help me get to 1,000 subscribers by October, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.